Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes on the Daybreak Show. On the phone line, we have the Mason County Sheriff, Casey Salisbury, Chaplain Joel Harris, as well as we have our Sheriff Sit Down presented by the great folks at our Community Credit Union. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning, Jeff.
We have had a lot of good numbers when it comes to coronavirus. As they've started to come down, we did get another case, but overall, the active cases are very low, and the number of tests continue to show that folks seem to be continuing their social distancing. The weekly meetings, the almost daily meetings from the Joint Information Task Force in the county continue to update us on things there. But today, what we're going to do is take a bit of a turn and talk with Sheriff Salisbury and Chaplain Harris about Mason County and the ways that the folks in the county over the last couple of weeks have used their voices to peacefully, it seems, by all accounts that I've read and seen in social media, that the protests in Shelton and Belfair over the last couple of weeks have been peaceful and positive, and that's got to go a long way during these tough times.
Oh, absolutely, Jeff. I am really proud of our community and the way that things have gone for us so far. And this morning we came into our COVID-19 meeting, our area command meeting, and the chaplain had kind of a message of unity. And I thought today would be a great day to just talk about that and let the chaplain deliver a message of a thing that he was involved with and experienced. And that'd be a great message for today with all that's going on all across our country.
Well, the floor is yours, Joel. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. I appreciate the opportunity again. You know, as a chaplain, you sit there and I watch the news and I talk with friends and I hear from people back on the East Coast, back in Charleston where we moved from. And I couldn't help but think of an article I read some time back in Leadership magazine that kind of reminded me what everybody needs to do right now is we all just need a hug. Now, I know somebody right now is thinking, oh, boy, another preacher just giving some sappy, trite thing. No, that's not what I mean. Let me explain. The article that I read some time back was about a woman who'd been offered a promising position in Alaska. She was from Vancouver, British Columbia. Not having a lot, she decided to move herself. So she rented a little U-Haul and decided, of all things, late in the summertime, to drive alone up the Alcan. Anybody that's done that knows what a trip that can be. Well, never having been told that you don't travel the Alcan alone in a rundown Honda Civic pulling a U-Haul, she set off for places where only four-wheel drives normally venture. The first evening, she found a room at a roadside motel in the mountains and left a wake-up call for 5 a.m. so she could get an early start, only to wake up and find the mountain enshrouded with fog. Still, she was determined to get up and went down to breakfast. The only other travelers awake were two truck drivers who invited her to join them. Where are you headed? One of the truckers asked. Whitehorse. In that outfit? Are you kidding us? No way. This pass is dangerous in weather like this. Well, I got to get there. I'm late and I got to go on, she said. Well, then I guess we're just going to have to give you a hug. Well, you can imagine the young woman immediately drew back and the truckers laughed. Not like that. We'll put one truck in front of you and one in the rear, and that way we'll get you through the mountains. All that foggy morning, that lady just followed two red dots in front of her, reassured by the bright beams of the big escort behind as they made their way safely through the mountains. When I thought about that, Jeff, I thought about an experience that I was part of. And it happened 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Memorial Day, I was sitting next to a man who was well known and one of the best pastors I'd known by the name of Clementa Pinckney, as we together were part of a memorial service remembering the very first Memorial Day service in Charleston, South Carolina, 150 years earlier. And after that, Dr. Pinckney, who was the pastor of the Emmanuel AME Church, invited me to come speak at their anniversary service later that fall. 6 weeks later, while I was in Florida at a conference, I woke up in the morning to the shock of the killing of Dr. Pinckney and several members of the Emmanuel Church by a young man who had been radicalized. As the shock wore off the community, some may even remember in the news, I saw something that never made me so proud of a community in my life. And that was when the community of Charleston, without fanfare, without anxiety, came together. And at one point, thousands of people from every economic, every ethnic, every religious background literally linked hands and stood across the Ravenel Peace Bridge together as a sign of community unity. It occurs to me that right now it becomes way too easy to misplace our focus onto the multitude of differences that divide us rather than the people who complete us. Experience has taught me that most of the time what folks want is simply a listening ear and an encouraging word. Someone to say, I'll have your back. Whoever and wherever we are in our passage through this life, we all occasionally need to have a hug with fellow travelers who know the way and can lead us safely ahead, and with others behind, gently encouraging us along so that we too can make the trip safely. So for all of us in Mason County, let me ask, have you been hugged lately? And if you have, who are you going to hug today? Thanks, Jeff.
What a great story. Wow, Joel. It's been so nice to have you on with Sheriff to talk about these things. Your ability to encapsulate things so succinctly in great messages. That was another really good one.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Jeff, over the years, we've so valued our chaplains and the work that they do in our offices, in our communities. And I so much appreciate Chaplain Harris joining us this last year, and for that reason. And so we really appreciate it. That message he delivered this morning to the area command, I asked if he would relate that today on the radio. So I want to thank him as well.
That's really great. Mason County Sheriff Casey Salisbury, Chaplain Harris, good to talk with you guys this morning, and I know that we'll be catching up again real soon.
Thanks, Jeff. Have a great day.
You too.